हेलो पवन सर। सर आपका म्यूट है। हेलो पवन सर।
Hello, hi Sahil. Yes.
Yeah, bro. Sir, can you
Uh,
start the class?
yes. I'm going to just start. Actually, I'm just setting up my keyboard. It's not working.
Oh,
Just give me a
okay, sir.
minute.
Take your time.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Let me share. Okay. So in last session, we created some, the web components. Web component, it means to say standard. We use a standard control. So today we will discuss what is validation controls. Okay, the web forms. Okay, I taken the template. Let me create the blank application. The empty one. Okay. So let me add one default page. Yeah, so this is our like default page. So let me open the toolbox. Where is it? Toolbox. Okay, sorry for the delay. Actually, I changed my laptop, so everything is like newly set up. All right. So in the previous session, we like perform some perform some examples for text box, radio button, list button, right, and a table. Okay, so these tool was related to the standard controls, and today we are going to discuss the validation controls. So what are the validation control and all how we can use this? So as its name validation, so it's the purpose of validation control is to validate the data whatever the user provided in the fields. So we can validate by using these validation controls. So let me create a form. Let's say we are creating a registration form, and I want to perform some validation on some of the fields, like the username supposed to be the mandatory, and the user name or email supposed to be in particular format, means to say @ symbol supposed to be there and .com supposed to be there, right? And let's say we have an option of age. I want to validate that they're supposed to be greater than 18. So this kind of validations we can easily perform by using validation controls. Okay, let me create a form. So again, I'm using some standard controls, or you can use if you are like interested, you can directly go on the source and you can design your HTML code here. Okay, so inside this div, I'm using table, right? See, not this table, basically. I want to use HTML table. Let's say, and I want to take yeah. So one row contain 3 columns. TR is for row, TD is for column. It's TD stands for table data. So I want like these rows, 4 to 5 rows. Okay, first row is said enter username, enter email, enter password, then confirm password. Let's say age. Let's take one more row for button. Okay, so in design, it will look like this. So here in the first, in the just parallel to the enter username text, I want to add a text box. So we can just simply drag the text box in this TD. So this is the text box for username, for email, for password, for confirm password, and for age. And we required one button, that is this one. Okay, now we want to change the names, sorry, the IDs of each controls, and we also want to change some update properties of some of the text boxes. Okay, let me change the first ID. So ID is supposed to be txt username. That's it for username. For email, so txt txt yeah, text mode password. Okay, so that whatever the password we enter, it is not directly visible. It will be like star star star. Okay, same for the confirm password as well. Text mode is password and this ID txt confirm password. For age, just ID txt ID. Okay, for button btn button. Like the text boxes are ready. Okay, let me execute. Okay, so this is the output we can say. So let's say the username is say Pawan, email is pawan@gmail.com, password I said admin, it is hidden, and confirm password is also hidden. I said ABCD something, and age is let's say 45. When I hit submit, so right now the postback event, successfully performed. So data is already submitted. So, but you can see if I use an password and confirm password basically not same in this case, but we didn't get any the alert or message. Even if I in email as well, if I just write Pawan @ just and say submit, so it's again postback successfully done. And even for this time, password and confirm password both are empty, but still we didn't get any confirmation from server side. So now we will update this form and want to validate uh, the information whatever the enter by user. So we can now use this validation control. Okay, I want to mention username, email, password, confirm password. These first four fields are mandatory, age is optional. So I want to make first required fields. So here you can see the understand the properties for this control. The first is again the ID. Let's say txt username required. Username required field. Okay. So the next property Hello.
Yeah, Pawan.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So do you miss something, or this is we
Mm,
are
no, that's the one.
okay? Okay. I just updated this text ID only. I mean the ID
Okay.
property. Okay.
Mm,
Uh, so now I'm saying we have two controls. One is the validator required field validator, and second one is the text box. So right now both are not associated with each other. Means to say we have here 5 text boxes and one validator control, and this validator control applied to which text box, that is not done yet. So for this we need to associate the validator control with some text box. So for this we have here the second property, control to validate, right? So here we need to select this validator supposed to be applied on which control. So in our case that is txt username. So now username is required. Now when we update this validator control property with the appropriate ID. Okay. Let's say if user in case if user do not enter anything and say submit, what error message we want to show on screen. So for that we will use this error message property. So we can say user name is required. Okay. 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 Let's see the output for first for just for this control. Okay, without entering anything, let me hit this button. Something is missing. See, this script resource named jQuery is case sensitive. I think something is related to this SSL certificate. Everything is okay. Let me remove and re-add. Okay. Okay. Set page dot is valid. Uh, okay, there is one method. Let me check. Required field display static. Error message. Enable client scripting false. Okay. In our case, enable client scripting. Okay, here it is true. Yes. Okay. So previously, basically, this field is default false. So maybe I just, updated my VS. So in VS 2022, this field is now default enable. Enable client-side scripting true. So in that scenario, we need to add JavaScript or a jQuery files to perform the client-side scripting. But we are not adding any client jQuery or JavaScript files, so this property is supposed to be false. Okay, so now it's working. So the error is related to this property. So it's supposed to be false, but default now VS is giving latest VS is giving to true. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see the output again. All right. So if I do not add anything, it is, saying, and the username is required. Now let's say I added per one and say submit. It is gone now. Okay. In case of blank, this message will be appear, and this is the warning, or this is like the error message. We can change it the color into red so that even so that it will be appear like this is a error message. Okay, let me change the color as well. Font color for color to red. Okay, and I want a small star in here after the text box. So we can use this text property, say star. So the default will be star. It will like say, okay, indicator kind of like this text box is a mandatory field. Okay, and there is one tooltip as well, but this is not so useful. Focus on errors. Okay, we'll discuss later this one. Okay, let me add other toolbox as well. Required field validator. Enable false. Control to validate. TXT email. Color it. This and message. Email is required. For password as well. Control to evaluate TXT password. Okay. when I said submit. Oh, I think for the last one we didn't change the property. To add star, we need to use label. Okay. So now it's saying that these fields are mandatory field. We cannot proceed without filling these three, the data in these three fields. Let's say I just added email only, not username and password is blank and says submit. So it will like, pop up the message for username and the password. Okay. And yeah, okay, let's do it for password and confirm password. Okay. So for confirm password, I'm not making it a required field. I will use compare validator. So for compare validator, okay, just first make it false for this property. So compare validator is like if you want to compare the value of two fields, right? So here we have two properties: control to compare and control to validate. Control to validate is we want to validate this confirm password with control to compare with txt password. Means to say the whatever the value inside text password supposed to be same as compare password. For this we can say password is not same. Okay, just for testing purpose, I'm just changing the password mode, the text mode for password and confirm password to simple text so that we can see the data whatever we are typing in both fields. So password is required. I said okay, admin, and in confirm password I said ABC. So give me error, password is not same, right? So if I say the same as password admin, so this will like it will accept the data. Okay. Okay. Now we have a range validator. Range validator means when we want to compare the data in range. Okay. In range, first disable this. Control to validate, that is age. Here we have two more properties, that is maximum value and minimum value. Minimum value is, let's say, 18 and max value is 50. So age is not mandatory now, but if we enter anything, let's say I did 12, then the data is supposed to be in particular range, that is 18 to 50. Then it will say, okay, the range validator. Basically, I have not updated the message. So age is not mandatory. If user enter the age, then age is supposed to be the valid age. If I said 19, it will treat as a valid data. If I said 50, it will treat as a valid data. In case of 51, more than 50, again, it is invalid. So the age supposed to be between 18 to 50. That is checked by range validator. So we can say age between 18 to 50. Oh, I'm adding in ID. Age between 18 to 50. Yes. Okay. Okay, this is the range validator. Okay. Now we already seen this compare validator, range validator, required field. There is one regular expression. So regular expression means to say when you want to validate your data with particular pattern. In case of like email, there is a particular pattern, like at the rate supposed to be there, then dot supposed to be there, then dot com supposed to be there. Maybe after dot it can be a dot com, dot co, dot uk. So this kind of like validation we want to add, then we can use regular expression. So I'm like adding second control for this email, that is regular expression. So again, I'm saying control to validate, that is email, txt email, and for color is red, an error message, say enter valid email format. Okay, control to validate is done. So here we have field expression. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we need, let me copy the email expression first. Yes, this. Okay. We have validate expression. Let's see. Okay, just edit Bhavan and say, oh man. Okay, I entered this name in email. It's saying enter valid email format. Let me check the expression is working or not. Let's say @gmail.com. Okay, still what expression it is? We have here email as well. Thing. Yes, now it is correct. Okay, first with just Bhavan, enter valid format at gmail.com. Now, still. Okay, let me change the expression. Maybe it's not the correct expression. Okay, let's try with this one. Still. Yes. Okay. This is working. This expression is in working stage. Okay. So we have like the expression already we have available on online, so we can copy and just paste. So just by hit and tell you will come to know, okay, which expression is valid or not. Even you can design this expression from your own, but you need to know the meaning of this, the square bracket, round bracket, slash, uh, everything. Then you can also design your own expression as well. Right. So here we can say we have two validation control on email. One is first is required field. We're supposed to enter the email, and when we enter email, then emails will be validated by this validation expression. If all the expression is validated, or there is any issue in the expression not match with this expression, then we will have this error message, enter valid email format. Okay. Okay, there is one more, that is the custom validator. Custom validator means we want to create our own custom validation control, or a custom logic for to validate the any field. Let's say, let me add one row, and let's say we have city. And I added custom validator, and I'm again saying control to validate, that is txt city. Okay, then here we are updating control to validate txt city. Now there we have one okay, let's say false. Control client validation function. We have is valid. Okay. Okay, now when we click on this submit button, right, and I want to perform one check. Let's say I have a string variable city, and the data is coming from txt city dot text. Okay, and we provided one check, city equals let's say CSD, then txt what is the control name, control ID, custom validator 1. I will say custom validator 1 dot is valid equals true, means, or in else we'll say custom validator 1 dot is validate false. So is validate true false, is validate property is basically saying the validation is okay, or validation is passed, then we'll say is validate is true. In case the validation is not passed, then we'll set this is validate property to false. So when the property is false, then we will have this error message on screen. Enter valid city. Okay, so let's execute this. Okay, let me add any different city. I said LDH and say submit. It's saying enter valid city. So this the validation for this control is done by button click, right? So whatever the logic we have provided here, we are like handling the control output, the controlled validation is true or false based on this checkbox. So this is like we can say the custom logics to validate any control, and in that case we supposed to use this custom validator. Okay, let me add the valid city CSD. Okay, I think that is in capital CSD and say button. So now the message is gone. Okay. Okay, so the last control is the validation summary. So validation summary is like we want to provide sometime, the page size, sometime the form size become very huge. So user not able to, scroll up and down to see the error message. Sometimes the requirement is like every, whatever the error is there is supposed to be shown on the bottom or maybe on top. So in that case, we will use this validation summary. Okay, so for this we do not have any property control to validate and all, right? We need to add this property control validation summary, and let's execute it. Okay, I'm just hitting this button. Okay. I think one property is there. Oh, yeah. That is validation group. Okay, so I'll explain this validation summary by tomorrow, because I need to explain this validation group property first for each control. Then we will add this validation summary. Okay, the validation group is basically like, let's say you have two forms on single page, and you want to execute or two buttons, two buttons on single page, and you want one button perform one part of validation and second button perform second part of the validation. Then we need to use this validation group summary property, validation group property. Okay, so right now we have only one form and one button, so that's why this validation group is blank. So yesterday I'll explain the validation group with two forms with the two button on same form, and then we'll add the validation summary. Then you will see the actual, how this validation group is in action. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll continue this tomorrow from here only. And sorry for today, and like I just changed my laptop, so
It's fine.
some things are not properly configured right now. Yeah, all right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.